Everybody, welcome back to YouTube, the only place where you can time travel. So the other day at work, a coworker of mine put on a playlist with a bunch of old songs I used to listen to in high school. Bands like Relient K, Switchfoot, and the one that I'm going to talk about today, Anberlin. And their song Paperthin Hymn came on, and it reminded me of a cover that I had arranged back in high school, but decided never to release. This cover was going to be a mashup of Paperthin Hymn and another song called Writing on the Walls by Underoath. And I was going to take these really metal, heavy rock songs and turn them into like an acoustic folk vibe, to try to capture a different energy with it, so that you kind of saw the sorrow that is behind those songs, rather than just what they put forward as this heavy rock, angsty kind of music. But I never released it, and it's one of my biggest regrets in my music career, is that there's so much stuff that I never released because I was just too afraid of how it would be received. I didn't think anybody was going to like it. I didn't think people would like my arrangement. I didn't have confidence in my singing voice, and I didn't have confidence in the songs themselves, which is ridiculous because those songs have done extraordinarily well. They all have millions and millions of plays on Spotify. So you know they're solid songs. The issue is more with my confidence in myself. And so what I want to talk about today is why you shouldn't doubt yourself, and that you should get out there and release that cover. And in the spirit of that, I decided to go back and do that cover now that I've gained the confidence to be able to present those songs in that light. And a few things really helped boost my confidence. One was just getting a solid group of friends that supported me, and that believed in what I was doing in music. If you can't surround yourself with people who believe in your music, you're never going to get anywhere. Two, I just kept doing it more and more. Whether it was for myself or whether I posted anything, I still kept on doing it and building the craft, and that's the only way you get better, is by doing things. Which is why, ultimately, I regret not releasing that cover and recording that cover, because there was so much that I could have learned out of it. And once I show you guys what I came up with, I'll actually share with you what I did learn. Thirdly, I've realized that there is a fan base of people who actually like what I'm doing and want to see me put out more. And so I'm so thankful for you guys for being around to hear my music, to hear the covers I'm doing, to hear these videos. I appreciate all of you guys, and you have really helped build my confidence to be able to produce these videos. That being said, I want to encourage you, if you have anything in your life, music or not, that you are debating whether or not you should release it, you're debating if people are going to like it, you're not sure what people are going to think of it, just put it out there. You never know what you might find. In the music business, we always talk about finding your niche, these little micro markets of people who really love your music. Sometimes that's your family and friends. Sometimes that's random people on an internet hashtag. You never know what it's going to be, but you're never going to get anywhere with it unless you put that step forward and release that content. Whether it's art or music or videos or even memes, funny ideas, anything that's on your brain that you enjoy doing, why not share it with the world? I started rummaging up all the old equipment I could find from high school to put together this cover that I never actually released. Believe it or not, a lot of my setup hasn't actually changed since then. I had a lot of good equipment going, but I found my old audio box USB by PreSonus, which I patched into Studio One, which is a great DAW. I've been using it for the last probably 5 or 6 years, and I haven't had any problems with it. I love the workflow. I love just the feel of it. I love that I can port in other projects. It just works phenomenally for me. If you're looking for a good cheap DAW, I would highly recommend you try out the free trial of PreSonus Studio One. I couldn't find the old condenser mic I used to use to record vocals. It plugged into a USB and then into your computer. I'm not even sure that it entirely worked. There were some weird driver issues with it, and I think half the time it was just recording through the default input because I didn't quite know what I was doing. But I tried to emulate that the best I could, and so I bought a small diaphragm condenser mic at a thrift store in Calgary for like $5, I think. So it's not a very high-end mic, but it was very comparable to what I used to use back in high school, and I really actually liked the sound that I got out of it. It really has that bedroom pop kind of vibe. Finally, I picked up my old guitar, I dropped it into the open D tuning, which I used to love back in high school, and I started picking away trying to figure out what I used to play to get the song sounding the way that it did. I think I came up with something pretty close. I'm not sure if it's exact because I never actually recorded the cover I did back in high school. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the product that came out, considering that I spent maybe 3 or 4 hours on it and kind of tried to emulate the quality that I would have had back in high school, just so you can see exactly what would have come out and how it wasn't actually as bad as I thought it would be in my brain. A lot of times it's just the mental hurdle of, this is a lot of myself on the line, and if people don't like it, it's going to affect me. We got to get out of that mindset and into the mindset of, this is something I did for me.
Maybe why don't we sit right here for half an hour? We'll speak of what a mess I am, and how we miss the beat again. When your only friends are hotel rooms, hands are distant lullabies. If I could turn around, I would tonight. These roads have never seemed so long since your paper heart stopped beating, leaving me suddenly alone. Will daybreak ever come? Who's gonna call on Sunday morning? Who's gonna drive you home? I just want one more chance to put my arms in fragile hands. I thought you said forever, over and over. A sleepless night becomes bitter oblivion. These thoughts run through my head over and over. Complaints of violence become my only friend. I swear we need to find some comfort in this run down place, to bridge the gap of this conscious state that we live in. I'm short on time. How come you try to fit the shape of what they tell you, but mostly what they show you? I thought you said forever, over and over. A sleepless night becomes bitter oblivion. These thoughts run through my head over and over. Complaints of violence become my only friend. We walk alone. We walk alone. We walk alone. We walk alone. Back home. Alone. Back home. Who's gonna call on Sunday morning? Who's gonna drive you home? I just want one more chance to put my arms in fragile hands. I thought you said forever, over and over. A sleepless night becomes bitter oblivion. These thoughts run through my head over and over. Complaints of violence become my only. I know there must be some way out of here, and all of them will be waiting there.
Welcome back. I switched sides of the couch just to mess with you. So, what did I learn from recording this cover? First of all, it isn't that bad. I should have just released it back in high school. It probably would have done pretty well, and I would have had a lot of enjoyment out of recording it if I had gotten out of my head. So whatever you got to do to get out of your head, please do it. We want to see what you have for the world. Secondly, I think I would have learned back in high school that reverb fixes nearly everything. It really helps to complete that I recorded this in my bedroom all alone vibe that you need for that acoustic kind of cover, as well as it covers up a lot of the imperfections that come from the fact that I recorded this all by myself in my room with low quality equipment. And last but not least, I think I would have learned that layering vocals can create such cool effects. For the part where we walk alone, I have about 4 different recordings there of me singing essentially the same line, and the timing and the cadence of how I'm singing it each time, which creates this choir type effect. The other thing that I used doubling vocals for was for the choruses and the pre-choruses, which really helped to give it a more full sound in such a sparse arrangement. When you just have the acoustic guitar and one voice, a lot of times you do need a little bit more power out of that voice than I can produce. So singing it twice or even 3 times can really help to make it punch through the rest of the song and to have more effect. So moral of the story, just do whatever you've been afraid to do. The worst thing that happens is that you learn something from it. If you also want to learn from the high school project that I didn't get to till now, I'm going to be posting a breakdown of my Studio One session so that you guys can see exactly what I did, how I mixed the guitar and the vocals. I'll teach you guys a little bit about how I comp my vocals, and I'll show you exactly the effects chains that I'm using. That's over at my Patreon page, which you can find a link to down in the description. If you want to go support me over there, you're going to get the videos early, as well as some behind the scenes stuff like this Studio One session breakdown. Thanks for watching and making it this far. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe. I'm going to be posting a video every 2 weeks, like I said. And I'd love for you guys to be able to see them. I'm going to leave now so you can go get to whatever you've been putting off. See you in the next one.